Hello, everyone, and welcome to Elegant Collectibles. We are here opening up a box of Avatar the Last Airbender. This is the last set of the year, and there's some really cool mechanics in this. I know it's a Universes Beyond, and that can have its own woes with different people, but I think overall, when it comes to Universes Beyond, um, you know, it, Final Fantasy had and rightfully so, its own crazy hype around it, and it was very well done. I actually didn't really like the pre-release environment for it, where I think this one is going to have a fantastic playability, pre-release sealed type experience around it. So I hope you all have a great time. What, depending on when you're watching this, could be before or after your pre-release. I hope you have a fantastic pre-release. I'm really looking forward to this one. So Firelord Zuko is our first one. We have a food token here. I am going to try to show. There's a bunch of flip cards in here, so I'm going to try to show those off as we go through this. But Firelord Zuko and like that scene art, which is cool. This is the big thing that people don't like or really like, depending on who you are, is the screen captures of the bonus sheet here. We got brought back here. Interesting. Ooh, we got Ko the Face Stealer. That's pretty sweet. That is pretty sweet. This is the same thing that they did in Bloomborough, the field notes artwork, which I love. So fantastic. All right, so also pay attention here. You have a bunch of these eternal symbols. So this is the main set symbol, the one with Aang's head. And then you have his glider here, and that is the eternal. So it's jump start, it's the scene art. So just keep that in mind as you're going through these. And then Zuko conflicted. So we had the blue spirit, which is cool, and then Zuko conflicted. We have our Appa art here. I have watched the show. That does not mean Princess Yui or you. I can't remember how they pronounced her name. It's been a minute since I've watched it, so do not skewer me on possibly saying things incorrectly. It will happen, I am sure. Love the panda. Hopefully we get the mythic panda from the jump start that's in this. I think that is could be a pretty good card. All right, everybody, let's keep moving. I'm not going to spend so much time on the commons and uncommons. I'm not going to call out each one of them. There are plenty of other channels that are doing that, and I think they're awesome. But I'm just not going to do that right now. We have the Diligent Zookeeper here. I think it could be a decent uncommon. It honestly is very, very playable. A lot of good stuff to it. So each non-human creature you control gets +1/+1 for each of its creature types to a maximum of 10. That can be an awesome card. And behind it, we've got Captain Sisay in the screen capture scene art bonus sheet here. Fire Nation turret, that is from the scene box, which I think is pretty cool. I think this is a good red land. It's basically like there is an artifact. I don't know if it's white or if it's just colorless. I can't remember, but it's with life counters. And it's basically like the firebending red mana version of that for the charge counters here. I think it's pretty awesome. And then we've got the Bison Whistle, also from Eternals, and then Ba Sing Se, the land, rare land. I think this one's interesting. I like the idea of Earthbend. I think it's kind of busted. So we'll see where that all goes. All right. It is interesting the amount of eternal cards that they have in here from the Jumpstart. I don't know if I like that idea. Momo, man, we're getting a lot of these field notes arts, which I think are awesome. So I'm all for it. Momo, the friendly flyer. The foiling on these are really good. Good job. Humble Defector. It's a funny looking card. All right, I do like this one. Love the artwork. It's awesome. Katara the Fearless. I'm a trigger guy. I like doing the double triggers, and this speaks to me. I like it. All right, then we got a mythic from the Eternal set, Azula, Ruthless Firebender. Very nice, Firebending 1. Whenever Azula attacks, you may discard a card. Then you get an experience counter for each player who discarded a card this turn. Pay 1 swamp and 2 colorless until end of turn. Azula gets +1/+1 for each experience counter you have and gains menace. It's pretty sweet. We've gotten 2 mythics so far. These are fake mythics. They are all mythics, and they shouldn't be. Then we got the Sandbender Scavengers. Lost in the Spirit World. Mini Partings. There we go. That's a reprint there. The Badger Mole. That was there. There are some silly creatures in this set. Like, I think there's like a rat elephant in this. It's kind of crazy. Ooh, the Last Agni Kai, which is cool. Signed art card here. That's really cool looking. Hey, we actually just had that uncommon. Very cool. All right, the Last Agni Kai. That's sweet. This is also from the scene art. All right, we've got a foil, finally, from the scene arts here. 3 Dreams. Ooh, we got our Ren and Shaw field notes. Sweet card. I don't know how great this is going to be in practice for whatever format you play, but it is cool. And then we've got Suki. She's awesome. And then Agna Gela. I don't know if I said that right. And then we've got a Appa Island. All right, I forgot to take a look, and that's a different island is why I zeroed in on it. But there's definitely a different island that we had just gotten. Okay, so this is our 5th pack. Whee. I do hope to get the 5-color, the Avatar Aang. I would like to get that one. Doesn't have to be the special one. Of course it doesn't have to be the special one, because that's nearly impossible to hit. All right, we've got Res the Redeemed, Zuko Redeemed. Very cool. Just the flavors is really good with a lot of these. The Ba Sing Se Land Again, rare. Baboon Spirit, and Redirect Lightning. I think that could be a really good rare. It'll just depend on how much people get into playing with that and see how well it works. But I think it could be good. Anytime that you can get a pretty cheap red counterspell out there, definitely could have wings. Let's see if we can get the giant 0-30 wall too. Suki, Courageous Rescuer. All right, Blood Chief Ascension. Not a bad one. Not a bad one. That's a decent little bonus sheet there. Sokka, Bold Boomeranger. I'm pretty sure this is the one that you got if you went to like a promo from the Magicon Atlanta. Just a different art. Cool card. Storm of Memories. And oh, I am happy about this one. Let's go. Wan Chi Tong Librarian. This is the best card in the set, in my opinion. I think there's definitely wings with multiple cards in the set. Like I said, it'll be really interesting to see where firebending, airbending, earthbending go. They definitely could. Oh, Brainstorm. That's cool. Combustion Man. There's definitely wings to a bunch of the different cards in this set. Like, I think the new mechanics with the different bending, elemental bending, can really bring some cool combos. And so I think we're going to see a bunch of different things shift in the market. At least here's to hoping so. All right, we got another Ren and Shaw, this time in foil. I would want the Librarian. That dude, I want him in this. That would be awesome. That artwork is so cool. I would also like to get the white Lotus tile. That's a fantastic looking card. That's one that I think could be, up there and worth one day. All right, Treetop Village. This is foil, so we got a foil Treetop Village. Okay. In this, you pretty much there's a handful of definite, good reprints: Obsessive Pursuit and Chakra Meditation. And then we did get the Aang Swift Savior. So this one I know is a flip. We haven't gotten any of the Mythic Avatar flip sagas. Aang and La, Ocean's Fury. I think this is a cool one. Definitely not a bad commander by any means. And we got a Momo Swamp, just like we had a Momo's Plains last one. I just keep forgetting to point it out. Jet me. All right. We got 4 more packs after this. United Front Mythic. This is a sweet looking card. Love this artwork. The foiling on it looks really sweet. Yeah, this is great. And it's a mythic, and it's a great mythic at that. I think this is going to be a very played card, whether you're doing allies or just straight up tokens. This is a good card. Very nice. Then we got Fervor here. Creatures you control have haste. Chong and Lily, Nomads. Ooh, yes! We got the Cabbage Merchant with a print line. Oh, you see that? There is a print line all the way across. That's sad. But oh well. Maybe my wife could definitely use that in her Rocco deck. So maybe we'll do that with that one. These from the Vine. All right, everybody. We've got 4 more packs here. Oh, hey. This is sweet. Very, very cool. The Legend of Yongchen. Starting with you, each player chooses up to 1 permanent with mana value 3 or greater from among permanents your opponents control. Exile those permanents. You may have target opponent draw 3 cards. If you do, draw 3 cards. Exile this saga, then return to the battlefield tapped. Let's see if we can do this right. Man, that is so cool looking. All right, flying. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, airbend up to 1 other target non-land permanent. That is strong. And it is such a pretty card. That is so cool. Yeah, so I don't care whether you like Avatar or not. That is a sweet looking card. And then Taunting Challenge. Good old Boomy. So we've gotten 2 good mythics in a row. That's awesome. Taunting Challenge. Another Bison Whistle extended. Smellerbee foil extended. And then Aang's Iceberg with an Appa Plains. Good old loyal Fire Sage. That was at the beginning of the show. Boomy, King of 3 Trials. Boomy was a great character. Copy. And to the Raven Eagle. All right, this is another cool field notes treatment. Agent of Treachery. Not sure if that's good or not, but cool. All right, this is a good one. I like this one. I think this is one of the better rares in my opinion. Sokka, Tenacious Technician, because it has Menace Prowess. Other allies you control have Menace and Prowess. And then whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. How is that bad? I think it's pretty darn good. Ooh, hey. All right, so this is from the Eternals. But we've got Avatar Kyoshi, Earthbender. So during your turn, she has hexproof. At the beginning of combat on your turn, Earthbend 8. She commands a huge cost, but that Earthbend 8, and then untapping the land, so you can tap it for mana, doesn't matter. You go to combat, you throw 8 1/1 counters on it. Not to mention you can double those with shenanigans. That's a good one. All right, so Earthbender Ascension. This is cool. There's definitely some good landfall synergies in this set. I would love to get the Badger Mole, but I think that is going to be easier to hit in play packs than it will collector packs. You have the field notes version that you can get. That would be really sweet in like the foil, which is not collector booster specific to my knowledge. But I don't know. I just think it's going to be a hard hit. Firebender Ascension. All right, we've gotten some good scene arts. Firebender's Ascension is pretty good. I would like to get the Sojin's Comet, or I think that's what it's the name. That's a good one. Visions of Beyond. That is a cool foil. I like the foiling on that one. Oh, right. Yes. This is a mythic that I wanted. This is all the different aristocrat decks' new favorite card in black. So at the beginning of your end step, if you sacrificed a permanent this turn, create a token that's a copy of this vehicle. As long as you control 8 or more permanents named Phoenix Fleet Airship, this vehicle is an artifact creature. So it becomes a copy, so it's basically a Scoot Swarm for sacrificing. Sure, it's a little bit slower, but I mean, if you think about all the different token doublers type stuff that you can do, especially if you're doing like a white-black, I just think that this is going to be a super fun card, and it's flying, and it starts off as a 4/4. Man, it can just do some really cool stuff. Reckless Blaze, and then a Firebending Student. This is also, there's a buy a box Firebending Student that you get for buying a box at your local LGS. Katara, Seeking Revenge. This has been a fun box. I don't think you're going to be going to this set looking for value. I think that is the one thing that I will say from everything that I've seen so far. I think there's going to be great playable cards, but you don't go to this for value. Iroh! Yeah, I didn't get any of the cool elemental ones of this guy, but I love Iroh. He's one of my favorite characters. The Tea Master. Ooh, a Dockside Extortionist. Alrighty. If you get unbanned, I'll be happy. All right, got the Unagi of Kyoshi Island. This is just so cool. I love this artwork. Love the field notes. And then Air-Eng Nomad, and then Azula, Cunning Usurper. People are excited about the different Azulas. All right, everybody. Well, this does it for this collector box opening. I will not be doing another collector box opening of this. I think it's fun. I definitely wanted to do one, but this is not something that I'm going to buy a whole bunch of, just because, again, I don't think that it's going to have, like, those are the mythics that we got, which, again, I love the different ones that we did. These were the two of the ones that I really wanted, and that one's really good. And this one's just awesome looking. So I don't know. Like, I think there's going to be some value here, but we definitely lost. We lost money on this, especially if you're buying this at the $500 a piece. But man, it is cool. I think there's some great cards in this. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. I hope you can go and participate at a local LGS to do your pre-release with this. I think it's going to be super fun. All right. Until next time, stay elegant, and I'll see you next time.